There are moments in life when the world feels heavy, when your heart aches for peace, your mind longs for clarity, and your soul yearns for something beyond this world. It is in those quiet, sacred hours of the night that Allah calls you, not through the noise of the dunya, but through the silence of your heart. Tahajjud is not just a prayer, it is an intimate conversation between the Creator and His servant. When the world sleeps, the lovers of Allah rise. They rise not to be seen, but to be near, to feel the closeness that only comes in solitude with their Lord. Tahajjud is an act of love, a declaration of faith, and a journey of surrender. To pray Tahajjud correctly is not only to stand in the dark, but to awaken the light within. It is to wash your heart before you wash your face. It is to detach from distractions and reconnect with the one who never sleeps, never forgets, and never abandons. The Prophet said that Allah descends to the lowest heaven during the last third of the night. Most foe is calling upon me so that I may answer him. Imagine the King of Kings asking you to speak. To pray Tahajjud correctly, begin not just with your body, but with your heart. Prepare for it by sleeping early with the intention to rise. Even if you wake for just 2 rak'ahs, make them sincere. Make them heavy with tears, soft with humility, and full of hope. Don't focus on perfection, focus on connection. The secret of Tahajjud lies not in how long you stand, but how deeply you feel. Some people pray with their tongues, others pray with their souls. Tahajjud is for the latter. It's where you lay down your burdens, whisper your fears, and find your peace in the one who already knows. The night is the believer's sanctuary, a place where hearts heal, sins wash away, and faith grows roots. When you pray Tahajjud, you're not just performing an act, you're rebuilding your relationship with Allah, step by step, tear by tear. So tonight, when the world sleeps, rise. Stand before your Lord. Let your heart speak, and you'll find that the one who turns to Allah in the silence of night walks with his light in the chaos of day. Intention, Niyya, is the heart of every act of worship in Islam. It is what separates a mere action from an act of devotion. When it comes to Tahajjud, the intention carries even more weight, because this prayer is not one of obligation, it is one of love. You don't wake up in the middle of the night because you have to. You wake up because your soul longs to. That longing itself is your niyya. It is your unspoken whisper to Allah that says, Ya Allah, I want to be near you. Before you even rise from your bed, the intention begins in your heart. It's not about saying specific words, nor is it about perfection. It's about sincerity. When you go to sleep, remind yourself that you wish to stand before your Creator in the stillness of night. Tell yourself, if you wake me, I will come to you. That moment of sincerity, that quiet promise between you and Allah is already recorded as worship. Even if you oversleep, even if you don't manage to rise, Allah in His mercy still writes for you the reward of what you intended. That is the beauty of niyyah. The Prophet said, actions are but by intentions, and every person shall have what they intended. Think about that they intended. It means that the weight of your act is not measured by how long you pray or how much you recite, but by what your heart desired when you did it. If your tahajjud is short but your heart was present, it holds more value than a long prayer filled with distraction. The night prayer is not a test of endurance. It's a test of sincerity. When making your intention, remove all worldly motives. Don't pray tahajjud to feel spiritually superior, to impress others, or even to chase worldly relief. Yes, you can ask Allah for your needs. That's part of it. But your niyya should always begin with love, not transcend. You stand before Allah because you miss Him. You rise because your heart feels empty without His remembrance. That is the intention that transforms tahajjud from a ritual into a meeting. There's something sacred about forming your janawaz niyya before sleeping. As your body rests, your soul prepares for the call of the night. The angels watch over you, waiting for that moment when you awaken for Allah's sake. Even the simple act of setting an alarm, saying, "Help me wake up for you," or sleeping with wudu becomes an act of as-siniyah. It's as if you're telling Allah, "I might be weak, but my heart wants you." That honesty is what draws His mercy closer. Sometimes, people fear that their intention isn't pure enough, that they might not have the right mindset. But purity of intention doesn't mean perfection, it means awareness. It means catching yourself when your heart starts seeking praise or validation. It means redirecting your focus to Allah alone. You can renew your intention at any moment. Before you stand to pray, pause for a second and whisper, "Yes, I am here only for you." That one line purifies your entire act. The intention behind Tahajjud should also carry hope. When you rise at night, believe that Allah will respond. You're not just performing a ritual, you're answering His invitation. He descends to the lowest heaven in that sacred hour, calling out, "Who is asking me so I may give him?" Your exhalaya should include the belief that you are among those who answer that call. Even if your voice trembles, even if your eyes are heavy with sleep, your effort is seen. Sometimes, the sincerity of your aslaniyah shows not in how easily you wake up, but in how hard you try. The struggle itself is part of the intention. When your alarm rings and you fight against your comfort, every second of resistance is counted. Allah knows the weight of every small effort you make for His sake. The mere act of leaving your warm bed for prayer is a testimony of your love. Make your tasniyah simple, pure, and direct. You don't need to overcomplicate it with formulas or long recitations. It's enough to say within yourself, "I want to wake up and pray for the sake of Allah." That is sufficient. That is powerful. So tonight, before you sleep, pause for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and think of the one who never sleeps. Tell Him silently, "Allah, if you grant me life to see another night, let me stand before you in the peace of Tahajjud. Let me talk to you in the stillness where only you can hear." That whisper is your intention, your promise. And Allah, who sees what lies hidden within the hearts, will respond to that whisper with a love far greater than you can imagine. The timing of Tahajjud is one of the most sacred mysteries in worship. It is not just about hours on a clock. It's about moments when the world sleeps and the veil between your heart and your Lord grows thin. Tahajjud is prayed after the obligatory Isha prayer and before the call of Fajr, but its most blessed and powerful time is in the final third of the night, that deep silence before dawn, when the stars still hang above and the world lies still. In that stillness, something extraordinary happens. The Creator of the heavens descends to the lowest heaven, calling to His servants, inviting them to come to Him. The night holds a secret that the day cannot contain. During the day, the soul is distracted. The mind is busy. The heart is surrounded by noise. But when darkness spreads and everyone else sleeps, only those truly seeking Allah rise. The timing of Tahajjud is a divine opportunity, an open invitation to a conversation with the one who never turns away. It is as though Allah is saying, "When the world has turned its back, I am still here. Come to me." Those moments, when the world forgets, are when the lover remembers. The final third of the night is unlike any other time. Imagine the night divided into 3 parts. If sunset is at 6 p.m. and Fajr is at 6 a.m., then each part is 4 hours. The last third, from roughly 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., is when the mercy of Allah is closest. It's when the du'as are heard, when hearts find peace, when forgiveness rains down. But don't think the power of Tahajjud lies only in exact minutes or calculation. It lies in the sincerity of your call. Even if you wake a few minutes before Fajr, your effort still counts. Allah is beyond time, but He honors those who give their time to Him. There is something beautifully intimate about that hour. The streets are quiet, the air is soft, and there is a sense of calm that can't be found in the daylight. It is in those moments that you realize you are never alone. The same night that covers the world in darkness becomes a blanket of mercy for those who seek their Lord. You may feel small under the vast sky, but Allah hears every whisper you make. The timing of Tahajjud is not random, it is chosen. It is placed in the hour when distractions fade, when your heart is most honest, when your soul is most awake. Waking up for Tahajjud is not easy. It takes discipline, longing, and love, but it is also a sign. Allah allows those He loves to speak to Him at that hour. If He wakes you, it means He wants. It means your name has been mentioned in the heavens. Every time you rise, you are being chosen for a private audience with the King of Kings. The timing of Tahajjud is not meant to test how early you can wake up. It's meant to show how much you desire to be near. The early hours before Fajr carry a spiritual weight that words can't describe. The angels descend, the gates of mercy open, and the hearts of believers glow in the darkness. It's a time when every tear counts, every breath is recorded, and every word of dua is lifted high. Some people spend those hours asking for forgiveness, others for guidance, and some simply sit in silence, letting their hearts speak what their tongues cannot. Whatever your need, that is the time to ask. Allah says in the Quran, and during the night, wake up and pray as an extra for yourself. It may be that your Lord will raise you to a praise station. 17:79 that praise station comes from those quiet, hidden prayers, the ones made in the unseen, the ones made when no one is watching but Allah. Even if you can't wake up in the last third of the night, don't lose hope. Pray whenever you can after Isha, before you sleep, or if you happen to wake up even for a few moments. The doors of mercy are never closed. The timing of Tahajjud is flexible for the sincere. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. If your heart wakes before your body, if you whisper Allah's name before falling asleep again, even that is counted. Allah knows your struggle. He knows the effort it takes to rise from your comfort for His sake. So the next time you see the night sky, remember that every minute of that darkness carries an open invitation from your Lord. When you stand before Him at that time, you're not just praying. You're stepping into a sacred conversation that has existed between Allah and His chosen servants throughout history. It is the same hour that the prophets wept in, the same hour the righteous sought forgiveness, the same hour when destinies were changed by whispered duas. That is the power of the timing of Tahajjud. Not just in when it happens, but in what happens when you answer its call. The night will always fall, and dawn will always rise, but between them lies a window, a divine moment waiting for your presence. When the world sleeps, wake up. When hearts are silent, let yours speak. The timing of Tahajjud is not about the night, it is about the awakening of your soul. Preparation for Tahajjud is more than simply setting an alarm or performing wudu. It is a process of softening your heart, quieting your soul, and creating the right environment to meet your Creator. The night prayer is not something that can be entered into hastily or mechanically. It is a sacred encounter, one that deserves thought, calm, and sincerity. Preparation begins long before the night arrives. It begins with how you live your day. The one who guards their 5 daily prayers, keeps their heart mindful of Allah, and strives for purity throughout the day, finds it easier to rise when the world slew. Tahajjud is a continuation of a heart that already remembers Allah when the sun is shining. Before you even reach the night, prepare your body and your mind. Sleep early if possible, reduce unnecessary distractions, and make the intention to wake up. When you go to bed, think about the one you wish to rise for. Whisper to yourself, if Allah allows me to see another night, I will stand before Him. That small intention turns your sleep into worship. When you sleep with sincerity, Allah often makes it easier for you to rise. The angels record that intention, and Allah, out of His mercy, may wake you even if you forget to set an alarm. When the night deepens and you wake up, even for a few moments, do not delay. Move gently, quietly, and consciously. The world around you is asleep. This is your moment of intimacy with Allah. Begin by performing wudu, not just as a physical cleansing, but as a spiritual renewal. Feel the water as it touches your skin. Let it wash away the dust of the dunya, the fatigue of the day, and the heaviness of your sins. As you wash your face, imagine washing away your worries. As you rinse your mouth, imagine removing the bitterness of anger or regret. Every drop of water that falls is a reminder that Allah purifies not just bodies, but hearts. The Prophet Zero said that when a believer performs wudu, their sins leave them with every drop of water. So before you even start tahajjud, your preparation already brings you closer to Allah. After wudu, find a quiet place. You don't need a special prayer mat or a beautiful setting. You just need sincerity. Even a small corner of your room can become sacred if your heart is present. Dim the lights if possible, let the silence surround you, and stand in that stillness. The calm of the night amplifies every feeling, every word, every tear. The best preparation is not what you have around you, but what you carry within you. Humility, gratitude, and longing you. It also helps to recite a few verses or make a short dhikr before you begin. Say Bismillah, so Astaghfirullah, or La ilaha illa Allah softly to yourself. These words act as keys, unlocking the state of mindfulness needed for prayer. If your heart feels distracted, don't rush. Sit for a moment, breathe, and remember why you are awake. You are not awake because of an alarm or habit. You are awake because Allah invited you. That awareness itself is a preparation of the heart. Sometimes, the hardest part is not waking up, but overcoming the whispers that tell you to go back to sleep. Your nafs? You can pray later, but your heart knows this moment will never return. Push yourself gently but firmly. Remember, every step you take toward Allah, He takes many more toward you. Your effort to rise is seen, your struggle to stay awake is recorded, and your sincerity is loved. As you stand for prayer, focus your heart. Don't let your mind wander to the tasks of tomorrow. The world will wait, this moment will not. You are standing before the one who owns the night and the day. The one who stands before Allah in the quiet of the night will walk with His light in the chaos of the morning. Preparation also includes emotional readiness. Sometimes you might wake up heavy-hearted, burdened by pain or regret. Use that emotion as fuel for your connection. Cry if you must, whisper if you can't find words. Allah understands what the heart cannot speak. Your tears are not a sign of weakness, they are a form of purification. Even your posture, your stillness, and your quiet presence are part of preparation. When you face the Qibla, remember that you are facing the direction of the Kaaba, the house built by Prophet Ibrahim first to Text, a symbol of surrender. Let that surrender fill you too. Finally, prepare not only for the prayer itself, but for what comes after. When you finish your tahajjud, sit for a few minutes in silence. Let the peace of the night sink into you. Make dua for yourself, for your family, for the ummah, for those who are suffering and those who are lost. That prayer, whispered in the stillness, carries immense weight in the heavens. So the preparation for tahajjud is not just physical, it is emotional, spiritual, and mental. It is about cleansing yourself from the distractions of the day and entering into the peace of night with sincerity. Every moment of that preparation, from intention to wudu, from rising to reflection, is part of your worship. You don't need perfection to stand before Allah. You only need presence. And when you prepare with love, Allah prepares your heart to receive His light. When it comes to the number of rak'ahs in tahajjud, many people get caught up in the details, wondering how many they should pray, what surahs to recite, and how long each unit should be. But the beauty of Tahajjud is that it is not bound by strict limits. It is a gift, not a duty. It is a conversation, not a performance. You can pray as few as 2 rak'ahs or as many as you like. The Prophet said often prayed 8 rak'ahs and then concluded with 3 rak'ahs of witr, but he also taught that even 2 rak'ahs offered sincerely in the quiet of the night are precious in the sight of Allah. The value of Tahajjud is not in how much you pray, but in how you pray, not in quantity, but in quality, not in repetition, but in connection. When you stand to pray those first 2 rak'ahs, understand that you are stepping into sacred space. Each rak'ah is a moment of intimacy with Allah. Each bow, each prostration, each word of recitation is a bridge between your heart and the divine. The Prophet would prolong his recitation, standing for long periods as he recited verses that moved him to tears. Sometimes he would repeat a single verse again and again, reflecting on its meaning until it settled deeply in his heart. You don't need to recite long surahs. What matters is reflection, feeling, and sincerity. Even if you recite Surah Al-Ikhlas or Surah Al-Falaq, do so with understanding. Let every verse remind you of who Allah is and who you are before Him. The rak'ahs of Tahajjud are not meant to be rushed. They are not like the prayers you offer in a hurry during the day. These rak'ahs are your private audience with your Creator, your time to speak without interruption. Move through them slowly. Feel the words of Bat Sabana Rabbi al-Azim in your bowing. When you say Esra Sabana Rabbi Allah in sujud, feel the closeness. That is the moment when you are closest to Allah, when your forehead touches the ground and your soul is raised higher than it's ever been. If tears come, let them. If silence comes, let that silence speak for you. Some people feel anxious about not knowing exactly how many rak'ahs to pray. But remember, Tahajjud is an act of love. It is not confined by numbers. The Prophet said, the night prayer is offered in sets of 2 rak'ahs. This means you can pray 2, rest, then 2 more, and so on until you feel satisfied. For some, 2 rak'ahs may be enough to fill the heart. For others, the night may pass in worship. What matters most is not how many you perform, but the depth of your connection in each one. Even if you only manage 2, make them beautiful. Make them sincere. You can also personalize your rak'ahs. If your heart feels heavy, choose verses about mercy and for forgiveness. If you are seeking peace, choose verses about Jannah or the beauty of patience. If you are lost, recite verses that remind you of Allah's. Each rak'ah becomes a mirror of your soul. The Quran you recite is not just sound, it's medicine for your heart. And in Tahajjud, that medicine works most powerfully. If you are new to praying Tahajjud, begin small. Start with 2 rak'ahs. Wake up just 15 minutes before Fajr. Pray slowly, with focus, and ask Allah to make it easy for you to continue. Over time, you may find that your heart wants to stay longer in sujud, that your eyes fill with tears more easily, that your soul feels lighter when you finish. That is Allah's way of drawing you nearer to Him. Don't force length, let love guide it. The best prayers are those done consistently, even if they are short. During your rak'ahs, you can also make dua in your sujud. This is one of the most intimate moments between you and Allah. Whisper your hopes, your fears, your gratitude. Tell Allah what you cannot tell anyone else. The Prophet said that the closest a servant is to his Lord is while in prostration. So increase your dua during sujud. You are not just placing your forehead on the ground, you are placing your burdens there. 2. End your tahajjud with witr if you haven't already prayed it. Witr is a beautiful completion to the night prayer, a way of sealing your worship. It is like signing your name at the end of a letter written to Allah. A letter of love, faith, and surrender. These rak'ahs are not merely movements of the body, they are movements of the heart. Each one is a reminder that you are seen, heard, and loved by your Creator. You may feel alone at night, but in those moments of prayer, you are never more accompanied. Every rak'ah you perform, every tear that falls, every verse that trembles from your lips is witnessed by the angels, and cherished. So don't measure your tahajjud by numbers or time. Measure it by the peace it leaves in your heart. Measure it by the nearness you feel when you say your final kat salam. Whether 2 rak'ahs or 10, if they are prayed with sincerity, they are precious beyond measure. Tahajjud is not about how long you stand, but how deeply you bow. It's not about how many rak'ahs you complete, but how much of your heart you give in each one. And when you pray with that heart, even the smallest prayer can move the heavens. Dua and tears are the soul of Tahajjud, the heartbeats of this sacred night prayer. When you rise in the stillness of the night and bow before your Lord, you are not simply performing a ritual. You are entering into a private conversation that exists between you and Allah alone. In those moments, your words are not just heard, they are felt, cherished, and recorded by the one who loves you more than you can ever imagine. Tahajjud is a prayer of the heart, and dua is the language of that heart. Tears are its punctuation, the silent drops that carry what words cannot express. When the world sleeps, Allah descends to the lowest heaven and calls out, "Who is calling upon me so that I may answer him? Who is asking of me so that I may give him? Who is seeking my forgiveness so that I may forgive him?" These are not empty words. They are a divine invitation, a call from the most loving, waiting for you to respond. Dua at Tahajjud is unlike any other time because the barriers between you and Allah are thin. There is no noise, no distraction, no performance. It is just you and Him. And in that silence, your whispers echo in the heavens. When you raise your hands after Tahajjud, do not think about fancy words or long supplications. Speak to Allah from your heart. He already knows every secret, every pain, every desire that lies within you. Tell Him what troubles you, confess your weakness to, ask for forgiveness, and pour out your gratitude. You don't need to sound eloquent. You only need to be sincere. The most powerful dua is a single sentence said with tears. Oh ya Allah, forgive me. Israel, I can't do this without you. These are not small words. They are calls that shake the gates of mercy open. And when your eyes begin to fill with tears, do not hold them back. Let them fall. Every tear that falls in the remembrance of Allah is more precious than gold. It washes the heart, it cleanses the soul, it softens what life has hardened. The Prophet said, "Two eyes will never be touched by the fire, an eye that weeps out of fear of Allah, and an eye that stays awake guarding in the path of Allah." To weep in Tahajjud is a sign that your heart is alive, that it still feels, that it still knows its Creator. Those tears are not weakness, they are strength, for only a heart close to Allah can cry for Him. Tears in Tahajjud are not always from sadness. Sometimes they come from overwhelming love, from realizing how many times Allah has forgiven you, how many times He has hidden your faults, how many times He has answered your prayers when you thought He was silent. At that hour of the night, when you raise your hands, you begin to see clearly every delay was protection, every loss carried wisdom, every unanswered prayer was answered in a better way. And when you understand that the tears that fall are not from pain but from gratitude, the beauty of dua in Tahajjud is that it is unrestricted. You can ask for anything: forgiveness, strength, peace, provision, love, success, guidance, or simply nearness. Nothing is too small or too great for Him. You can whisper the secrets of your heart that you have never shared with anyone, and He listens. You can cry over the sins that still haunt you, and He forgives. You can ask for things that seem impossible, and He makes them possible. The night prayer is when destinies are changed by whispered prayers, when hearts that were broken are mended, when souls that were lost are guided back. You don't have to cry every time you pray Tahajjud, but you should always strive to feel. Even if your eyes remain dry, let your heart weep. Allah sees the tears that never fall. Sometimes the heaviest crying happens inside in silence, and even that is seen. The sincerity of your emotion, not its display, is what matters. Allah is not moved by noise, He is moved by truth. When you make dua after Tahajjud, don't rush. Sit for a while after you finish praying. Let the stillness embrace you. Raise your hands slowly, breathe deeply, and remember that you are speaking directly to the one who said, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Quran 40,060. Believe that your prayer is already being answered, maybe not in the way you imagine, but in the way that is best for you. The tears of Tahajjud are a mercy, a gift. They purify what words cannot. They carry away pride, guilt, and fear, leaving behind only surrender. And when the first light of thought arises, you will find yourself lighter, calmer. You will feel that you've been heard, that you've been held, that you've been healed in the quietest hour. So when you pray Tahajjud, don't focus only on recitation or structure. Focus on presence. When you finish your rakas, lift your hands and open your heart. Speak your truth to Allah, and if the tears come, let them fall without shame, because in those tears lies the truest kind of worship, the worship of a soul that has found its way back to its Lord. Consistency over quantity. This is the heart of true worship, and it is especially true for Tahajjud. Many people think that to be close to Allah, they must pray long hours every night, weep endlessly, or never miss a single opportunity to stay awake in the final hours before dawn. But Allah does not look at the length of your prayer, He looks at the sincerity of your heart. He values the acts that are small but done regularly over those that are grand but fleeting. The Prophet has said, the most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are few. This hadith captures the essence of spiritual growth. It's not about bursts of passion, but about steady love. Consistency means showing up for Allah even when you don't feel like it, even when your body is tired and your heart is heavy. It means that you do not pray Tahajjud only when life feels perfect or when you're desperate for something. It means that your relationship with Allah is not seasonal. It's constant. Even if you can wake up only twice a week, even if you can pray only 2 rakas, do it with sincerity. Because what pleases Allah most is not your perfection, but your persistence. The truth is, faith is built in small steps. You cannot transform your soul in one night, just as a seed does not grow into a tree in a day. The spiritual strength that comes from Tahajjud grows with time. Each night that you rise adds another layer of closeness, another ounce of light to your heart. Some nights you may feel deeply connected, other nights you may feel distracted, but every effort counts. The angels record even your intention, even the nights you wanted to wake up but couldn't. Allah's mercy is vast enough to honor every attempt you make for His sake. When you focus too much on quantity, your worship becomes a race rather than a relationship. You start comparing yourself to others or measuring your worth by how many rakas you prayed. But the soul doesn't grow through numbers, it grows through sincerity. One moment of honest dua, one tear shed in humility, can outweigh hours of mechanical worship. Tahajjud is not about how long you stand, it's about how deeply you surrender. Consistency also trains the heart. It teaches you discipline, humility, and reliance on Allah. When you wake up night after night, even if only for a short time, you are telling Allah, I haven't forgotten you. You're strengthening a bond that will sustain you through every season of life. Over time, this routine becomes a refuge. The night no longer feels heavy, it feels inviting. The act of rising becomes easier because your soul begins to crave that quiet time with its Lord. This is the beauty of consistency. It turns effort into ease and obligation into love. Life, of course, is full of ups and downs. There will be nights when you are exhausted, sick, or overwhelmed. There will be nights when you fall asleep before you can even think of prayer. Don't let guilt consume you. Remember that Allah is not a harsh taskmaster. He is the most merciful. If you can't wake up for Tahajjud one night, renew your intention for the next. What matters is that your heart keeps turning toward Him, even when your body cannot. True consistency lies not in never missing a prayer, but in always returning after you fall short. To maintain consistency, start small. Begin with 2 rakahs a few times a week. Don't pressure yourself to do more than you can sustain. The goal is to make Tahajjud part of your life naturally, not forcefully. Over time, as your heart grows stronger and your love deepens, you may find yourself waking up more often, staying longer, and feeling more peace. That's how true spiritual growth happens. Quietly, gradually, beautifully. Remember also that consistency is a sign of sincerity. Anyone can worship intensely for a short time, but only the sincere keep returning night after night, even when no one is watching. There's no audience, no praise, no reward from people, only Allah knows, and that is enough. That hidden worship, done consistently, is what polishes the soul and brings divine peace. Think of the example of the Prophet's son. He never abandoned the night prayer, even when he was tired or ill. Sometimes he prayed standing, other times sitting, but he never let go of the connection. His constancy was not about the number of rakahs. It was about never letting that door between him and Allah close. You can build that same bond by being steady, not extreme. In the end, consistency over quantity is a mercy. It reminds us that Allah does not expect perfection, He expects devotion. Even if you pray a little, pray regularly. Even if you struggle, keep showing up. Because the one who walks steadily toward Allah will reach farther than the one who runs and collapses halfway. Tahajjud is not about how much you can give in one night. It's about how much of your heart you give night after night. And when you keep returning to Allah with that quiet faithfulness, you'll find that the small things you did consistently became the very things that transformed your soul.